Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. 6 years have flitted by, but the Marawi siege, particularly its aftermath, the image of the desperate flight of panic-stricken 350,000 or so from the burning city remains vividly, sharply, and indelibly on our minds. The 5-month Marawi crisis records a huge death toll, about 170 uniformed men, including policemen. About 900 of black-clad ISIS Mauti group, 50 or so civilians, not to mention a number of unidentified charred or decomposing bodies found in different parts of the city, and the missing persons reported by relatives, some 60 government forces included in the number. 1,400 soldiers were reported wounded. All this and incalculably more make up what is euphemistically referred to as the collateral damage of the horrendous, insensate violence inflicted upon Marawi by the extremist ISIS Mauti group. Little wonder that in a 2017 article, Moralio pronounced that Marawi crisis is as the most significant terrorist event in Southeast Asia. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we mark on May 23 the 26th year of the start of what would be seared into the minds of the victims' memories, especially the internally displaced persons rendered homeless by the longest urban fighting in recent history as a nightmare experience. The burning of a school, the torching of a church, and the wanton destruction of religious relics, the attack on the city jail, and in later days, bombs relentlessly dropped, eviscerating other buildings, including masjid, the merciless slaughter of defenseless civilians, and taking others as hostages or captives. These are not scenes from a Hollywood-made war film. These are scenes that many survivors or IDPs witnessed and carried with them in their long journey into night, haunting images which got impaled in their memories. There are memories that do not fade with time. The plight of the internally displaced persons, a huge humanitarian crisis, has been uppermost in the minds of the national and local government officials and various institutions and agencies, local as well as foreign. The Task Force Bangon Marawi and the local government units zealously carried out their mission to bring relief or assistance to ameliorate the condition of the IDPs and alleviate their suffering. Aid from foreign governments like Japan, the US, Canada, and the UK, and other agencies, including NGOs, flowed. There were complaints of inefficiency, insufficiency, favoritism, and corruption in the distribution of relief goods. But the IDPs, resolutely bent on survival, managed to muddle through those trying times. The Mindanao State University pooled its experts to design a master plan for the recovery of Marawi and its people. The city government partnered with Engage USAID to help IDPs on the road to recovery through various livelihood projects in their legacy event held in Cebu City, showcased the products of cooperatives formed by the IDPs in Marawi. There were also skills training programs to capacitate enterprising IDPs. Many students among the IDPs were able to continue their studies by availing of scholarship granted by the DOST-SEI. In 2019, families started to be awarded units in the 3 temporary shelters, Sagunsongan, Buganga, and Rorogagos Phase 1 and 2. Other entities like the Center of Peace and Conflict Studies, based in Siem Reap, Cambodia, and the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade of Australia published research-based accounts of the Marawi siege in a book titled Marawi, Rebuilding from Ashes to a City of Faith, Hope, and Peace. This book gave a special space to IDPs' voices so that the world will not forget. Indeed, there are signs of recovery. The resilience of the IDPs is affirmed again and again. However, it is deluding ourselves to speak of full recovery at this point in time or in the near future. There are losses or tragic experiences that take a longer time or forever to completely recover from, like the loss of loved ones, the loss of homes, loss of a way of life. Such losses are a kind of death in life. They are the death of a world. Nothing, not even philosophy, as Boethius speech in his book, could offer enough consolation or solace. Certainly, the IDPs distributed in the 3 temporary shelters are grateful for the units awarded to them, which are a far cry from the cramped spaces they occupied in those squalid, congested evacuation centers and later tent cities where they, particularly women, had to endure unimaginable discomfort and even degradation or indignities. At least, most of them had graduated from their status as human flotsam. At least, most of them have been settled in more or less thriving settlements like Sagonsongan, the first of the 3 temporary shelters to be opened. However, as the haunting line from the movie Schindler's List goes, there is always more that should be done, that can be done. Indeed, there is always more that should be done or could be done for the true victims of the Marawi siege, the IDPs. For most of the IDPs awarded spaces in the housing projects, those matchbox-like structures where families are cooped up and jumped like sardines can never be home. More than the lack of creature comforts is the issue. Their yearning to return to Marawi and rebuild their homes on hallowed land passed down from generation to generation has never waned. Marawi is the home where they were born, grew up, wove dreams of the future, and raised families. The Maranao attachment to the land of their birth is almost spiritual. It can be likened to an umbilical cord that binds the child to its mother. So the stubborn, overwhelming question is, when can the IDPs come home? Only by emphasizing with them can we truly, only by empathizing with them can we truly divine what is in their hearts. It is to the end the long journey into the night and really come home. And Marawi is the only home for them. And to the rest, to the other persistent question that continues to tease our minds, who were the victors in that war that broke out on the fateful day in May 2017? While the government had the privilege of declaring the end of the war, and the liberation of the city in October 2017, all it could claim is a Pyrrhic victory. The cost of driving the war to its culmination was incalculable in terms of lives lost, properties destroyed, and lives ruined. 6 years after, the poignant truth has not changed. The true losers in the war are the thousands of IDPs. Rebuilding their shattered lives will inarguably take a long, long time. This dirgeful message must be said again and again, lest